Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are into January of 1984, January 28th to be exact. Unfortunately, we are only a few weeks away from the untimely passing of David Von Erich, which will be covered here. But we also have a repeat match from a few months ago, Kamala and the Junkyard Dog, to start this week's program. I'm still unsure of why they do these rerun matches. Ron Cheatham versus Mike Von Erich is your first run beginning content for the 28th of January 1984. Sorry about that. My acid reflux acting up a little bit. Anyway, so again, Mike Von Erich, the youngest of the Von Erichs, having a hard time kind of getting accustomed to fitting into weekly wrestling. Cheatham does brawl with him a bit, new to the company, at least new to television, and is very aggressive towards Mike. Mike takes a good deal of punishment. Oddly enough, doesn't leave his feet during the first couple of minutes before getting body slammed and being forced to leave his feet. Also see a spot that is quite surprising as he is standing on the middle rope and Mike manages to drop kick him. He gets tangled in the ropes, does cheat them upside down. Referee takes a minute to untangle him, but I don't know that I've ever seen that particular spot, a drop kick getting a guy to flip over and roll up into the ropes. Kind of interesting to see, fun and different, and it's always cool to see some different stuff. Referee takes a good 30 seconds, if not longer, to get him out of the ropes. But what's interesting is they're replaying this for about a minute and a half into the match. They go to the outside a little bit with the heel coming back in, and once again losing any advantage he could have had. So not a good idea to break the momentum in this particular case, although it can be sometimes. They go to the mat, with Cheatham continuing to be in control, and Von Erich really getting tossed around, tossed the outside again, and maybe they want to get him some ring time, because I don't know that a Von Erich looking this susceptible to an enhancement talent is in the best interest, but he does manage to hit a sunset flip for the 1-2-3 from the outside in, gets the victory, and you'd never seen a guy quite so happy to get a victory. He's hopping up and down. Jimmy Garvin versus Billy Whitecloud is up next. Garvin with a handheld mirror coming out and celebrating himself. Whitecloud new to this area, at least this time around. Might have been here before because it seems like I've seen his name in results for several times, maybe in the earlier 80s, like 81 or before. But first time through in a while anyway. He's wearing a Native American headdress and gets a positive reaction from the viewing audience and the fans at the Sportatorium for sure. Garvin doesn't want to seem to tie up with him right off, as he actually pulls Precious in front of himself for a few minutes here, getting kind of a little bit of extra attention in a, I don't know that I'd say a negative way, but Garvin goes to the outside via getting offensively dominated early in the match, comes back in and stomps his way back in, not happy with the attention that he is getting in a direction he doesn't want it, gets it on the receiving end of a couple of arm drags before bailing out again, and Whitecloud with the arm drag, sunset flip, and other dominating maneuvers for the next several minutes. Garvin does eventually get a bit of an upper hand as he begins to overpower and pick Whitecloud up, almost giving him like a wedgie, just picking him up off the mat by the back of the head and the trunks and just slamming him down. So there is quite a size disparage there that Garvin can even do that, but he, instead of going for the pin, he turns around and wastes that energy by posing at the crowd, which I understand is a heel move, but still, if this were real, or even remotely so, he'd probably be going for the win and then posing for the crowd, one would think. White Cloud, though, makes his way back into the ring via the top rope and a arm drag, almost lucha style there. Garvin caught a bit off guard and goes up in the lights for a backdrop soon thereafter. And White Cloud certainly fires up after this, and he is definitely a guy who they could do some more with. So I'm not sure if he's just passing through the territory or what causes Billy White Cloud to be here, but a short knee by Garvin gets things going back in his direction, but he doesn't hold on to it very long. Misses I guess you'd say a jump stomp or something of that nature. And Precious tries to get involved in the match, and not before a standing modified figure 4. And then a drop back is placed by White Cloud, and Precious from the outside and nailing him with shots, and the referee breaks that up, causes the disqualification loss, but he certainly wants to get at Sunshine. Then we move to a 6-man tag team main event. Not particularly a fan of these, as I've mentioned before. The Super Destroyers and the Missing Link, what an odd team, versus Kerry Von Erich, Iceman King Parsons, and Chris Adams. Of course, the Destroyers managed by Skandar Akbar, and I think Missing Link would be managed by his medication, but that's just a guess there. Sunshine still involved with Chris Adams as we continue that foray of wonder, and needless to say, Von Erich looks good, uses his power early. Of course, Kerry months away from winning the NWA title in tribute to his brother. That happens in 1984, but a lot before that happens. Punches by Von Erich. Von Erich is going more towards having some substance abuse challenges by this point. I think it's noticeable in the Wild Swing, a couple of the punches, and also in the post-match interview. Iceman King Parsons comes back in. None of his issues are entirely handled by his wars with the Destroyers yet. But he is continuing to war with them nonetheless. Chris Adams comes in, hits a few body slams, misses a senton or two, what we would later know as a senton. Missing Link goes to the outside, does a lot of chaos, and certainly brings about some chaos. Kerry Von Erich back in and goes toe-to-toe with the Link. Of course, Kerry still wants him some of Kamala, which we learn in the post-match interview. And nice sidewalk slam style side suplex by one of the Destroyers on Chris Adams. The fans are solidly behind the Von Erich-led trio, as one can imagine, here in Texas. But the Destroyers and Missing Link are, I think, more dominant than the fans would like to give them credit for. A big clothesline toward the later part of the match by King Parsons. And Parsons tries to keep things going in a positive direction, but everything breaks down into a Pier 6 brawl, and the attempt to kind of settle the matchup is here as a big win for the good guys. Kerry Von Erich leading the charge. Like I mentioned, we close the program with a babyface promo. Kerry Von Erich saying he wants to get rid of the Akbar regime. Guy's friend King Parsons agrees to this, and Adam talks about wanting to get rid of Jimmy Garvin, but also being willing to help his friends whenever he can. So that's the way we close January in 1984 here in World Class. We do miss an episode, as the next episode is several days away. We go from the 28th of January to the 11th of February, but also David Von Erich passes away on the 10th, so I don't know if there's something to do with that, but in any event, till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.